Hey everybody, it is June 16th, 2024, giving you a late monthly update. We got a lot of stuff to get into, so we'll just get right into it. As always, looking at the chart, currently trading at 2.5 cents. We have had quite a bit of action in the last month. Couple big buys, couple big sells, mostly bot activity, which is fine because either way we get our 1% tax. So it doesn't really matter who is trading as long as it is getting traded. That brings up an interesting point. Is there any way we can get more bot activity on the coin? Let me know if you know a way, or if you have some theories on how to make that happen. It does say we have a 1% buy and a 0% tax. I'm really not sure what that's about. It's supposed to have a 1% buy and a 1% tax. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get into that, the information section, but oh, here we, yeah, okay, 1% buy, 1% tax, so I'm not sure why this information is wrong. Total supply, 100 million tokens. I think there's only 13 million in circulation. Something like that. 19 million, it looks like. Okay, so that's that. We're still able to honeypot, which is too bad. That warning did come off for a couple weeks. I think we got over 1,700 liquidity, and for some reason that took the honeypot thing away. I don't know. I don't know why that warning's there, but it is. So let's go into CD Baby. Currently have $22. Getting ready to pay out. Our pay point is 50. That's about all there is to see there. Our ad mob, our daily take went down significantly. Bricksbuster Android, for some reason, has been flagged as not being compliant with some stuff. So their earnings basically went to zero. So now, really, the only earner is Bricksbuster iOS, which is too bad. But we're at the point where the game is so old and I don't have the original files anymore that updating it is pretty much impossible, as far as I know. So we're basically just left with whatever the iOS version brings in. It is what it is. That's about all we're going to do. So we did have a pretty decent month last month. Everything considered. Let's see, date range. If I can just do May 2024. Alright, so this is May 2024. At least that's what I clicked anyway. There we go. So we did have 384 come in, but that was Bricksbuster Android. That got flagged at the end of May. I think like May 28th or something like that. It got flagged. So this will only be a couple dollars from now on. Bricksbuster iOS should be, in the 100 to 200 range still. That seems to be solid. It does have a 79% show rate, which is kind of weird. It's a 99% match rate, though, which is very good. I don't know. I mean, we're at the point where maybe we should talk about buying a new game or just trying to diversify in some other areas here. $1.88 yesterday, which is really good. $2.83 the last 7 days, $4.39 the last month, or this month so far. This is the websites. You know, the easiest way for you guys to possibly help out is to just go on the websites. Just mess around on the websites, go look at something. That's really all it takes. Even if you don't want to play Bricksbuster, if you don't want to do anything, just maybe set hmcstoreonline.com as your homepage. That way, every time you open up the internet, you're automatically hit with an ad that gets paid to us. And then you can just go do your normal internet stuff. Just some ideas. I mean, it's just super easy, and it's just not happening. I mean, there's very little in the way of support from the RHT community in that respect. I think everybody enjoys what we're doing and enjoys the rewards and stuff, but I've noticed that there's just not a whole lot of actual action happening, which is too bad. We do have a couple people in the community that are very active, very trying to get people to do some work, but I mean, it is what it is. I kind of knew that coming into it, but it's just kind of frustrating at the same time. Let's go to MEXC. I don't show you guys this one very often because, frankly, I don't really look at it too often. So we're at 46.42 for a payout. I'll get that payout here. I could do that today probably. The YouTube channel, we're at 90 cents in the month of May. This is another super easy way for people to help out with earning. It's just to stream the playlists. You know, even if you're not watching it, just, you know, it's just a lot of little stuff that's just not happening that could really make RHT profitable. Because, like, even the shorts, you know, there's not really a whole lot of stuff happening for us. We get a couple nice little ticks here and there, 2 cents, 8 cents, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not really anything. You know, the monthly updates bring in some decent money, 42 cents in May. Whoops. But, I mean, I've been testing some stuff. Just putting music on and stuff, but I haven't listed these. And what I'm concerned about with listing this stuff is, like, possibly getting demonetized or getting put into a different bracket. I know that happened on a channel I had when I was Shib Superstore. Is I put a bunch of music on one of our channels, and YouTube like put it in a different bracket, so our monetization went down to basically 0. Excuse me. Okay, so the big one. Actually, let's do this one first. So this is our Hudson Meat Company, the Grace Cart back end. This is May. So you can see these, this is kind of wrong. I don't know. Grace Cart doesn't do a terribly good job at separating stuff like that. So we have about $9,800, I think, in Hudson Meat Company sales. We have some open sales right now from Tippy's and Sarah's and things like that. You can look at, let's see, what is the timeline here? So I guess this is all time. Our top selling item is salted butter. And and then sliced Newski's bacon, pizza sauce, bacon ends and pieces, pork belly, and yeah, Worcestershire sauce. Guess that's the bottom one. So that's really interesting to see. Total delivered weight is 16,275 pounds. That's so far this year, and $47,000 in sales. Okay, now let's go to our Robinhood. So this is kind of a significant thing that's happened. Is we currently have 1267 here, which is pretty low, but I think this amount now is safe. I think we're going to be able to just keep it in here, keep it growing, where before we had to put so much money into HMC just to keep it going, or to get it built up. And I don't really foresee that happening anymore. I might have to take a little bit out here and there, but I think overall that should be a safe amount that we can just keep putting in there and growing. I've been trying to siphon a little money out of HMC every day to put in there, like 20 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that, just to keep it growing. Because I think that while the margins are small on this stuff, like selling covered calls is like, 1% a week or 2% a week, it doesn't come with the costs that HMC does. And I'll show you guys that here in a second. HMC, the margins are a little better, but the costs are astronomical compared to what we're doing here at covered calls. But that brings up another point, is, the website, the games, especially the games. Games, when money comes into those, that is 100% profit. We don't have really any bills associated with it. I think Apple has a $50 a year thing you have to pay to keep your games in good standing, which basically means that they'll keep letting people download them. But I mean, $50 a year is very insignificant. That's like $3 a month, $4 a month. So basically the costs, or the money coming into the games in particular, is 100% profit, which is why we should be looking at that stuff. We should be promoting that stuff, and it's just not happening. Okay, let's look at Amazon real quick. So we do have some sales. I have 20 sales that I have to ship out tomorrow. You guys can see we're selling bubblegum, Balls energy drink. This, I would like to really get an influencer involved in this and really push this product. It's a high quality Amish herbal tonic, and profit margins are decent on it, but the problem with Amazon, and here I'll show you guys, I'll try to visually show you guys as best I can what the major issue I'm seeing with Amazon. Okay, so let's go to the payments tab. So right now, as we speak, Amazon is holding $7,485 from us. I'm not sure what the payment cycle is like. I'm not sure if like they hold your money for 2 weeks or what it is, but I mean, it kind of seems absurd that we got that much money hanging out there. So here's the main issue with this. So this is, they're holding $7,485 from us. In the meantime, we still have to pay for the inventory. We still have to pay for the shipping. We still have to pay for returns. We still have to pay for all sorts of stuff. And then we don't get paid for 2, maybe 3 weeks. Like I said, I'm not really sure what the pay cycle is on it. But, I mean, that's a lot of money that's kind of just, to be honest, screwing us over. kind of keeping us from being super profitable. So, for instance, on these Balls energy drinks, you know, we get $37, and our cost on it's like $17, and then we have to ship it and pay a fee. I think the fee is like $5 on that, and then we don't get the money for 2 weeks. You know, it's tough. It makes things really tough, especially in the past week where we had a significant surge of volume. Well, it looks like somebody's about to buy one of those Yoder herbal tonics. So anyway, I'm not sure if I can. Oh, here, I'll go month to date. So here's the thing, is so we're doing this, and this is kind of hard to do when you're shipping out that much product and not getting paid for it. And then this stuff we kind of were able to recover a little bit, but then we had this massive spike where several days in a row was like $1,000. So that's $987. That's $727. $727. 500, and then the day after that was 500. So you got $4,000 approximately of product getting bought and shipped out, and you're not getting paid on it. It makes it tough. And you know, we have to really kind of sit down and ask ourselves, is this what we want to do? Is this the proper way to go about it? Because I mean, the cash flow is great, but the problem is that we're spending so much money just getting the orders done, and then by the time that we are paid from Amazon on it, we kind of are back to square one because we've spent money that maybe we don't necessarily have to try to make that work. So it's just something we got to be really realistic about. You know, maybe maybe we just don't do Amazon, or maybe we just don't do HMC in general. You know, like I said, the cash flow is very great. The potential is there. Everything's there. It's just that we don't necessarily have the capital at this point to make it work in our favor. And you know, maybe if we do this for a couple more months, maybe that'll change. But I'll show you guys here. I think this HMC one will visualize it best. So we had some pretty parabolic growth happening. January we're 6,300, which is very good. Then February and March basically did the same. And then the month after that, we tripled to 13,000. So this was sustainable. This was good because $9,800 of that was wholesale that we got paid on within a week or within 2 weeks. And $2,300 was on Amazon. This at this point was basically any leftovers that I could get rid of on Amazon. I did. And we had nearly a 3% profit margin on that month, $384. But then here we are looking at May, where our Amazon sales almost 5x'd. Our retail went up, and our wholesale was about the same, $100 more. So we went from 13,000 to 20,000. And this is the main thing right here, is that a lot of these sales so far, we probably haven't even gotten paid on. So where's all that money coming from? Well, the short answer is the money's coming from my personal pocket and to help float this thing. So, I mean, we just got to be really realistic about this. Like, is this the way we want to do it? Is this sustainable up to the point where we actually everything catches up and the bills are caught up and all that stuff. And then we can actually start enjoying our money a little bit. So on May, we did have a 12.7% profit margin, which for wholesale, honestly, is very high. I think a 5% profit margin on wholesale is probably typical. So Amazon expenses went from $1,000 to $4,100. Shipping supplies went from $100 to $300. Repairs went to $0. We didn't have any repairs after that. So, and we did have some returns, but that's pretty insignificant. I'd say returns under 1% is very good, and we were under 1%. So, then we go from May to June, and right now, as June sits, we're at negative $5,000. And like I said, where does that money come from? Where do we go? Where do we get the $5,000 to pay the bills before we get paid from Amazon or wholesale accounts? The short answer is the money comes from my pocket. So, am I able to support floating a couple $100 a month? Absolutely. Am I able to support $1,000 or $2,000 a month? Absolutely. Am I able and willing to float $5,000 a month every month? Probably not, because then that starts affecting my life. So Amazon expenses, we're halfway through the month, and Amazon expenses are already about equal to May. And so is the Amazon income. And like I said, that's great. The income, the cash flow is excellent. But if we're not getting paid on it for 3 weeks, that really hurts. So I was going to show you guys that the cost of goods sold is about equal to the cost of income, which is good, which means that we're not really spending money we don't have in order to grow. But that also means that right now, as it sits year to date, we're at a $16,000 loss. And if I'm going to be totally 100% honest with you guys, I don't know if we're going to fill that gap before the end of the year. I think we're still going to close the year on a negative margin. And I mean, which is really interesting. But so the main thing with HMC is that the reason why we wanted is cash flow. But the thing is that cash flow needs to at least pay for itself. Otherwise, it's operating at a loss. And the reason why we want the cash flow so bad is because eventually that'll open up doors with like banks and lenders and stuff like that to where they're willing to lend us money that we can actually put towards stuff like games or investments where the profit margin is like 100% or more than 100%. So it's just something we got to be really serious about and think about. Is it worth doing what we're doing? Or can we deploy capital in a smarter way or a more effective way? And am I saying that Hudson Meat Company is a failure or that Hudson Meat Company is not doing well? No, absolutely not. I think Hudson Meat Company is actually doing very well for a year one startup in a highly competitive food business. We're actually doing very well. The problem is that we're not quite to the point where it's sustainable all by itself. And which is fine, but we also have other stuff going on to where we're not really able to make it, we're not able to bankroll it the way we need to in order to keep it growing. So, look, I'm not saying that we're going to shut it down this month. No, I plan on, running Hudson Meat Company at least till the end of the year. That way we can see a full year's worth of results. And then we'll make a decision at that point. But I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on HMC. Is it possible that maybe we need to tone it back a little bit and maybe, grow it a little slower? or maybe we just ditch it completely, or maybe we sell it. You know, with a company now that's on track to do $200 some thousand a year, there's definitely a buyer out there for it. So is it possible that maybe we sell it and then deploy that capital towards investments? You know, it's just stuff we have to consider. And you know, if we plan on doing RHT long term together, there's going to be situations where, you know, we just got to be realistic about it and be like, what is the smartest way or the best way for us to get to the point where, you know, we're paying out rewards in the thousands of dollars every week? You know, that's really what I'd like to do. I'd like to get to the point where, you know, if you're a significant RHT shareholder, you know, I want to be able to pay rewards out to the point where you don't have to work as hard in your real life. You know, maybe that bill can pay your electric, or the rewards can pay your electric every month, or they can pay your mortgage every month. That's really the point I want to get at. And we're not there yet, which is fine. I mean, we're only a year in. You know, I've said hundreds of times that this is a long-term thing. And if you don't have the patience for it, that's totally fine. But, you know, we're not at the point where we can do that. We're just not. And do I think we're going to get there? Yeah, I totally do. But we're just not there at this point. I don't want to be so long-winded about this, but I just want to kind of drive that point home to where we're doing great, but we're just not there yet. Okay, so with this chart, I went from doing weekly to doing monthly. It's just a lot easier for me because I can, like for AdMob and AdSense, it's a lot easier to just actually pick a month and go back to that and look to see what we're doing. Or Amazon, it's super easy to do that. It's not easy to pick a week and do that. So this is the month of May, 384.21 on AdMob, 10.21 on Amazon, or I'm sorry, on AdSense, 9,500 on Amazon, no associates, 5 cents on bridging, which was a brand new thing. We've kind of stopped at this point, but maybe we'll bring it back because I definitely see the potential. 11,046 on business, which was the Hudson Meat Company minus Amazon. The business and Amazon together, the 20-some thousand dollars. Interest, we had 32 cents, which is almost the entire period we had last month, or last period. The period was 10 weeks. MEXC, we had 46.42. Miscellaneous, 0. Music royalties, we had 277.26, which is pretty good. We had a pretty good payout at the beginning of the month. Upside, we had 55.13. Stocks, I thought we had a little bit, but I guess not. I must have did some trading in June, which will be on the next update. But the covered call premiums are starting to come back. YouTube, 90 cents. So total revenue for the month was $21,322. Total expenses was $18,816. We had a profit of $2,458. Reward payout will be $12,2943. So that payout will happen, but you guys will have to be patient on it because I have to wait to get paid out from Amazon. Long story short. And yeah, basically the payout's not going to happen until Amazon pays out. It's just the way it is. And I think that's fair. Because, you know, we got a lot of money just in Amazon's bank account right now. So yeah, the payout will happen at some point, probably in the next week or two. Okay, so a master book. I updated this. We are at $1,132 in US stock. And then I will go to the stock portfolio. 100 shares of Plug, 100 shares of Fuel Cell, 100 shares of AMC, and 100 shares of NVDQ, which is the inverse of NVIDIA. $27 in cash, $72 in bullion, for $1,132. Crypto, we have $208.50 in SHIB. Go back to the asset allocation. We have $13,920 in royalty assets, which that'll have to get updated next month. It's going to be significantly lower because we lost the ability to collect on some stuff. $27 in cash. Business is 12 times monthly earnings, so that's $260,976, which, I don't know, this valuation is kind of probably not the proper way to value it, but it's the measurement we're going to use, and I think that's a proper measurement to use when you're not probably going to sell it. If we were going to sell the business, we might have to get realistic, and the value maybe is only $100,000, let's say. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Crypto 208.50. Total assets under management was 276,264, which is an all-time record. Almost exactly 1 year from our inception, which is June 5th. We had assets under management of 69,000. So you see this kind of parabolic growth. We were slowly growing every month. Even had a little dip here in April. And then when we really started going with Amazon is where you kind of see this parabolic shift. And while that's great to see, it is painful for the first couple months it happens. And I've shown you guys the numbers as to why that's painful. But yeah, I guess I will probably leave it at that. Payouts coming, rewards are coming, but you guys just have to be patient because Amazon's holding all of our money. Alright. Well, I appreciate all the support. Like I said, hit up the websites, hit up the games. Let's grow this thing. Maybe next month we can reach over 300,000. So, okay, I'll leave it at that. Thanks, guys. Bye.